Let's talk about the Browns. Interesting report yesterday from Ian Rappaport that the Browns actually made a decent offer to try to sign Jarvis Landry, who, guys, I think somehow, some way thinks he's the Jarvis Landry of 4 years ago. Let's face it, none of us are who we were 4 years ago.
No.
Particularly when you're playing a position in the NFL that's speed-based. Can we put the Rappaport quote up, guys? So Ian was saying yesterday, I know the Browns offered Landry a pretty nice one-year deal that would have been a pay cut, but he would have been able to come back for a nice sum. I'm hearing a number that was somewhere around $10 million. Guys, I don't think he's going to get $10 million now.
No chance.
Listen, don't play yourself. Jarvis, listen, if you're looking at me, listen, I got the pipeline. I'm the assistant GM. Don't play yourself, Jarvis. $10 million? You might get 4 and some change now. Listen, you might get 4 and some change. I didn't even think they was going to give you $10 million. But when you talk about what you able to do as far as we need vertical threats, we got underneath guys. We got guys that can move around and catch these little 5-yard button hooks. They're not Jarvis, but here's the thing. They like David Bell. They like he's younger. He's about the same amount of athletic
We don't know if he's any good, though, G. We don't know if he can play in the NFL.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Jarvis has a track record, but not for no doggone team.
He overplayed his hand.
Well, here's the problem. So, as a professional player, Jarvis was looking to make $16 million a year, right?
That's what he wants.
Fact. So now he's going to take a pay cut, and it's really not about the $10 million, Bull. It's about 16 I was thinking I was going to get. Now I have to. Now
he's got to readjust his mind.
I think that's it, Bull.
There have been many players that have gone out on a limb and should have taken the money.
He fired his agent, guys.
Should have taken the money and end up not taking the money. And then the 10's looking great 6 months from now, right?
Because he had the worst season of his career.
Well, by the way, I don't think that offer is on the table today from the Browns.
Probably not.
Sign.
No.
Probably not.
Well, they went out in the draft and they addressed that need.
That's right.
And so I always think that when guys are free agents, I know that Clowney wanted to hold out and see what happened, where the dust settled. Same with Jarvis, but take what you can get. Well, I mean, your window of earning power in the NFL is very, very small.
Well, we live in the real world, so
here's what's happening, guys.
10 is a solid number.
But
$10 million is a great number. It's a great number.
Here's what's happening, guys. He has seen over the last 2 years some wide receivers that haven't accomplished what he's accomplished in his career get paid $10+ million, and he's like, well, what the hell? I'm better than those guys. The problem is he's older. He's coming off his worst year. He had injury issues for the first time in his career, and it's a young man's sport, right? Wide receiver, in a way, is becoming like running back. It's like, I want you for a few years, and then I'm moving on.
Look what the Browns only gave up a 5th and 6th round pick to get Amari Cooper. That's unbelievable.
Who's a top 20 wide receiver.
To Bull's point, Isaiah Thomas, when I was playing for the Pistons, gave me some information knowledge some years ago. He said, I remember to this day, he said, never worry about what's in the next man's locker.
Talk to him.
Get yourself in
Talk to him.
You're right. But Jarvis is.
And that's the problem. 6 months from now, he's going to be thinking different.
When they called me for this show, they say, G. Bush, we want you to be on the show. Like, this is what we going to do. I said, I don't know what Jay making, and I don't know what he making. My answer is a yes. They pay me in Jordans and free sandwiches at lunch.
Kick them Jordans up.
Yeah, listen, I
just took them out of the box.
Out the box. Listen, as long as you keep coming with these Jordans, I'm in the building.
And a watch deal.
I got a watch deal. Shout out to your boy, man.
His watch can change a tire and open a beer bottle. I've never seen anything like that.
There it is.
So, guys, let's take a look at some numbers. So this is where the Browns are at receiver. We know that Amari Cooper is going to come in and he's going to be your A-plus receiver. But outside of that, guys, look at the receiving numbers from last year.
Yeah.
Peoples-Jones, we're still waiting for him to be the guy we thought he was going to be, and he might still develop, but Njoku was one of your top receivers last year.
Right.
So,
there's no consistency outside of Cooper. You can't trust any of the other guys.
Well, you can't say that because you had a guy under center that was giving you nothing, right? So I don't know who these guys are.
Well,
I like that.
Listen, I like Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Let me see what happens. Well, he's Michigan, man.
But I like him. But remember, he's a 6th-round pick.
Let us see what happens when you have a real person under center, right? So there's no more excuse now. So if you're a production guy, give me production.
You know I'm going to hit you with this a lot. When you say that they had no one under center and now they have a real guy under center, I'm always going to throw out that their career winning percentage is almost identical.
I can show you percentages throughout the Wazoo, right? Let me get the NBA encyclopedia. I'll show you some.
It's the eye test. It's the eye test.
We all know they're better
That's
at
how we judge quarterbacks. Is games won.
Again, to be fair, Baker wasn't nothing. but he's not Deshaun Watson.
we
not nothing.
So when I say
but
nothing,
I know what you mean.
He's an average guy.
He's an average guy.
Stop telling me he's a top guy. He's not. He's just an average guy.
He's an average guy.
That's all he is.
The reason I point that out is because I think the trash that we're throwing on Baker, to say he's nothing and he's not.
Let me
he
tell you,
changed
I'm
the
gonna
way
stop you. I'm
we.
gonna stop you there. I was in Ohio Stadium the day he stuck that flag in the ground.
Oh, listen, I hated that.
I still remember
He's
that.
still
Listen,
angry.
you know what?
So
He's
you're
not only
talking
that,
to the wrong guy.
I didn't
You
like
talk-
when they
You're
drafted
talking
him.
to the wrong
Yeah.
guy.
Because I said he was a punk, and that's burned into his DNA. That's
Right.
who he is.
Yes.
But
And you were right.
But after watching him for a couple of years
Yeah.
and watching him do what he did in his last healthy season, and by the way, I'm just going to bring up a point here. Everybody wants to say we're so far away, we can't win with this guy. How did he play against the Bengals in Cincinnati when both teams were at full strength, and the Bengals are the bar in the AFC as we talk?
Well, he got the mojo against the Bengals. Baker kills the
Oh,
Bengals. I don't know. He kills them. He kills the Bengals.
Well, but how did
Okay.
he do every other game?
Listen, he
watched
played
the other
injured
game.
all season long.
Oh, yeah, we
And
know,
down.
Jay.
Sit
We know
down.
because he told us every 5 minutes that he was
If you're
injured.
Was he injured?
Unlike-
If you're injured,
Yes.
sit down.
But
If
he
you-
was
here,
injured for
here.
the Bengal game, and he
Bull,
played well. So-
Bull.
Yeah.
The rule is, if you don't tell me you're injured, if you hit the
Yeah.
floor in a uniform,
Yeah.
that means you can play today.
Nobody made
right?
more injuries
I agree
than
with that.
Baker.
Don't come back to me and tell
And
me
I think
that
he
you
should have been the
injured.
adult in the room. But more importantly, I thought the coaching staff should have said, "You're not the same guy. We all can see
you
it.
can see that.
We're
Yeah.
going to sit you down."
Right.
So I think Baker was wrong by trying to play through it. But I also think
The
a lot of the blame goes on the adult in the room. It's supposed to be the
The
coach.
team's going to shut
At
him
this
down.
point, it's irrelevant. Because it's over, right?
Well-
But the point is, at wide receiver, you've got Amari Cooper, who's a very reliable guy, right?
Yeah.
I don't think, as good as he is, I still don't think he's as good as he should be. And I think there's another level to his game. And I hope he can get there with Deshaun Watson. And I think he might. We'll see. Although he did have a really good quarterback in Dak Prescott, although I think Deshaun Watson's better than Dak Prescott. But here's the thing. There's nobody I trust in that's to be the number 2. I do think Donovan Peoples-Jones still has a lot of potential. David Njoku as a pure athlete is fantastic.
Do you want Landry back?
But I definitely
At
want
what
Landry,
price?
but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, at what price?
At this point, if they offered him $8 million, I think he'd take it.
missed-
Now,
I do too.
I
I
think
do
you
We
would.
missing something here. I love the emotion. I love it.
You down on Jarvis right now?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not down on Jarvis. I'm up on Deshaun Watson. You can give me 4 or 5 dudes from Medina.
But I don't want to.
Hey,
I don't want to, G. I want the best players I can get around
Hey,
him.
here's the thing. You got to understand that you're not going to get that $10 million. If it take $16 million to get Clowney, I got to give him half that.
You know what? Hey, if Jarvis don't take the money, go get Emmanuel Sanders. He's out there. He's a veteran slot guy, number 2 type of guy.
I think what we're missing is, the point we're missing is this. Deshaun Watson is a top 5 bona fide quarterback. We talking Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady-ish, but he can move. You could put me 4 JV dudes out there, and I guarantee Donovan Peoples-Jones makes a move. Schwartz is going to look better. Demetric Felton going to look better. They're going to have screen game, rocket screen, streaks, all kind of stuff.
I agree with
and
you.
we're going to be good.
I agree, but wouldn't you still rather have a better talent at
Sure.
your second wide receiver? But I agree with
Sure.
you. Yes.
So let's get to Jarvis. It's not just
Yeah.
the talent. He's good in the locker room.
Yes.
He has
Yes.
the respect of the peers.
Sure.
right?
He does,
that's
no
worth
doubt.
There's a dollar value to that, right?
Yeah. No,
Because you can bring a jerk in here and it'd be a jerk, right?
And even when the Browns released him, they bent over backwards,
Right.
thanking him for changing the culture.
Right.
He's a good locker room guy, and I think that has to factor into it. I think if the Browns still would come to as high as $8 million, Jarvis would be crazy
Yeah.
not to take it because clearly no one's throwing bags
Well, you have to let
of dough at him right
as a
now.
player, you have to let this settle.
All right,
down,
I'm the,
He's
I'm
gonna-
the-
he's going to settle
I wanna,
down for the
I want
$10
to
million.
keep with the Browns. I want to pivot to something that I saw yesterday. It was concerning. Okay.
Okay.